So, does your life get a little bit crazy the closer to the new school year? Even if you don't have kids, even if you're not in school, it seems to me that as summer draws to a close, things get more frenetic. Like it's almost like all of us are trying to ensure that we just squeeze every last little bit of summer out of summer that we possibly can. But it's super weird, right? Because my life basically continues to go on business as usual once the Soap and Clay kidlets are back in school. Except hopefully this year I don't have to teach them again because that was a lot. But I still do this. Like, oh, well, we have to push harder, do more, go have more fun, make more memories, which again is weird because they make memories, with me and the family every day because that's just part of. Point is, summer is drawing to a close and the energy around has just been crazy and I'm super contributing to it. And I just wondered if anybody else was sort of like experiencing that or had noticed that in their lives. That's all. Just a reason to have a conversation in the comments, really, because I'm curious right now. I will tell you all about the awesome Animal Crossing villager that we are going to be doing today in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And you are here for day 108 of 365 days of soap. And yeah, we're doing another Animal Crossing soap, which is super delightful. We are doing this really super cute little frog, even though this was not what we were supposed to do. The Animal Crossing soaps have been kind of weird, and with the movement of the embeds inside of the columns, it's been really freaking me out. And so I was meant to do an elephant for this one that kind of looks like a teapot. And I got big shooketh, and so I changed it and decided to do Henry the frog for this instead. And I think it totally works. Interestingly, it worked with the Midwest Fragrance Company scent that I had selected for Tia for the elephant, just because of who Henry is and what he's named after and all the jazz. So I'm glad that all of those things worked out. But, I am letting you know that I was planning on making an elephant and decided to make a frog because these Animal Crossing soaps have been wild and quite the journey. And I wanted to give myself an easy one. So let's go check out the easy one, now. Hey guys, we are back with another Animal Crossing soap and I am super excited. Today we are doing Henry and we are going to choose some green and yellow for Henry because awesome. He's a frog. He's adorable. I love this guy. And this will end up being one of our easier soaps in this line, honestly, because, well, there's not a lot, and it's been kind of weird with some of the designs that I've done, just kind of doing weird stuff. Lemon cupcake and let us entertain you. That sounds delightful. That's what we are doing for Henry. Now, for the scent, we are using white tea from Midwest Fragrance Company, and no vanillin, high usage max, which is cool. Now for this, it's going to be similar to, I guess, the Cocoa Bar, in that we are going to be making a cylindrical Henry guy, frog. So like his big face. And then I'm going to take that cylinder and put it into a rectangular, like a log mold, and pour around it so I can get his eyeballs on the top of his head the way that, it should be. So we're going to go with that. Now, interestingly, this ended up working no matter what. The scent that was selected for this was a white tea, and it was not the character that I was supposed to make. Now, I was originally going to make Tia, the elephant, right? And so she looks like a little teacup or a teapot. And, oh, by the way, this sat for like 20 minutes. I had to go help a customer, and so that's why it got super thick. But that's okay. We are doing a 2-color pouring at the same time into the column on either side of the column pour. That's a real name. Did you know? Yeah, that's what it's actually called. And so like the thickness of this doesn't super matter. Anyway, Tia looked like a teapot or a teacup or whatever. And so I wanted to do a white tea for her. But then since some of the embeds and stuff have been going really wonky with the Animal Crossing bars so far, I kind of psyched myself out and went, well, instead of the elephant, let's do a frog. Because Henry is super cute. And when I looked him up and got his information on, the wiki, on the Animal Crossing wiki, he is named after Henry VIII. And so that's still fitting as shit, isn't it? Yeah, it's still fine. And so that's what we're going with. We are still going with white tea for Henry, and that totally makes sense. Now, on MidwestFragranceCo.com, the scent description for white tea says sliced lemons give a light tartness to this warm cup of tea with a heart of sweet floral notes and dry musk base. Top notes are lemon, mandarin orange, middle notes clove, violet, jasmine, base notes are white tea and musk. And fragrance details, none vanillin whatsoever. There are none soaping notes. So yes, all of that. Now, we did see that the sweater weather discolored without vanillin, but in my experience, white tea usually does not discolor, no white tea fragrances, but it does have a tendency to accelerate. So I'm curious to see if it does so in this already thick soap batter. Okay, and as I said for this first part, it's very, very simple. I'm just going to go opposite ends of the column and pour at the same speed-ish. Yeah, having split my batch. Hello, wrist. What a nice close-up of my wrist there. You're welcome. You're welcome for that. Yeah. And once this is all saponified, I will then, of course, take it out of the mold and put it into the rectangular loaf. Now, talking about the acceleration, again, you saw how thick the soap batter was because it had set up for so long while I was helping a customer. Adding the kaolin clay did loosen up the batter, yes. But then also adding the scent, that loosened it up pretty well too. So no acceleration going on with this. It's definitely not getting thick. It's still a decent batter to work with, so that's great. If you're in the market for a good tea scent, this one's definitely it. It's bright, it's invigorating, it's fun, it's super strong, and it's fun. Now, this is day 2, right? So I've taken it out of the mold and didn't really do anything like freezing it or anything because it's not really necessary with something like this. And because the sides of it can be a little rough, it's going into another, you get it. And I decided to go blue around him as well. For what reason? I don't know. I'm just in a blue mood. That's it. But let's look up and see what Henry's deal is. We know that he's named after Henry VIII, which is cool. I'm into that because, again, I got real freaked out about doing that. Well, that's interesting. Do you see the weird gray color going on in that? That's interesting. So the color that I ultimately ended up picking for the outside of this batch of this soap was Indigo Girls from Mad Micah's. And that's very interesting. That graying there is actually pretty wild. See that? That's interesting. That occurred before the scent even went in, so that's a color thing. For sure. That's super wild. I like it. But yeah, no, I was big concerned about doing the elephant, because it was going to be a lot. Let's see. He is a smug frog villager. His skill is oversleeping. He is named after Henry VIII. He has a pretty kind of industrial house in there. There's not a lot going on. We've got a brick background in his house. Nothing super awesome in there. He's a Virgo. That's cool. And that's basically it. Cool. He's a cute frog. That totally works. Now, I didn't put the second liner into the brambleberry mold like I did with the cocoa, because ultimately it didn't make enough difference for it to matter. And so, yeah, some soap, because it's so soft, will pull off the sides of the bar as I'm pushing it in, and that's totally fine. It's totally great. Now that's, a little tester soap that I get to, go test at the sink with the little scraps that came off the side. And it's awesome. Yeah, for sure. And the soap, I did not actually let it, I said I let it, it's next day or whatever. It's not, it is next day for this part, but I poured it really, really late at night, and I was there really, really early in the morning. So it actually only set up in the cylinder for about 6 hours before I pulled it out. And the reason I did this is because I was hoping that the green portion, the round part of his face, would be soft enough that I could sort of really push these eyeballs into them so they have a nice connection with the green portion, with the face portion. So for during the cut, during use, the eyes aren't going to fall off, is my thinking with all this, because that would be terrible. A poor frog losing its eyes? That's awful. No. And so this is my thinking. This is my hope. So anyway, this will be put in the oven for C-pop and gel, and let's go cut this and see what they look like. Okay, and on to the cut of this. Again, it has been C-popped and gelled. Why is everything crooked? What is happening? Why is my counter crooked? What's going on? It's weird. All right, whatever. Fine. And it's very smooth. It's very shiny. Super into that. Absolutely. I'm not doing some sort of weird artistic whatever. I really don't know why my counter is crooked. Oh, that is cute. Okay, so we're good. So I'm not done with this because he's not done, right? He needs a face. He needs the rest of the stuff. But these bars all worked out really well. The soap from the first pour was soft enough that everything really did a great job doing its saponification thing around it without any sort of problems of separation for the second pour. And I love that the eyeballs are all randomly weird, and some of them are, that's fun. That's adorable, because so many of the villagers they have such cool expressions, right? And they do weird things like that all of the time with their face, depending on what message they're trying to convey to you, really. And so that's adorable. These are super, super cute bars. The white tea is very strong. I get a lot of lemon and tea and not a lot of musk throughout this. And so it said the dry down notes are musk. I'm not hitting that with this. I'm just getting a very clean, bright, very invigorating scent with all of this, for sure. But those are all very, very adorable. But we're not done. Of course, we're not done. We've got to do some extra fancy because they're Animal Crossing. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is just put in his little cheekies, because he has cute little pink cheekies. And so I'm just going to use the end of a spoon, just like I used for Coco. These particular spoons are weird in their handle that they have a round end. And that's cool. I picked them up at Target, a bajillion years ago. I thought, well, that's fun. That's an interesting flatware. Is that what utensils are called? Flatware? I don't know, whatever. And so I picked up like a set of these and then realized that I really dislike them because they take up too much room in the actual drawer. And so as a result, they've sort of just been used for other purposes outside of eating over the years. And now the majority of them are at the soap shop. Not because I really use a spoon a whole lot in the soap shop, but because I just didn't want them in my kitchen anymore. Make sense? Sure. And so that's where that came from. But you can just use regular carving tools for that too. I've got lots of those. And I'm going to use, some right now to do his little nose guy and his little mouth guy. And how cute is that? That's adorable. And I'm glad that I did this one instead of trying to do Tia. Tia would have been cool, but again, with these embeds all doing weird things inside columns, which still, it's mind-blowing to me. I don't know how it happened. I thought, let's do a slightly easier one for all of this and see, if we can, do a slightly easier one. And plus, it's a frog. And one of the favorite characters of the Soap and Clay Kidlets, of Soap and Clay Kidlet number 2, is a frog. Not this frog, but a frog for sure. What's the frog that she loves? I forget. I have so much fun playing Animal Crossing with the kiddos. I don't know if you guys, have kiddos, but if you do, get Animal Crossing and play with them because it's fun. And we enjoy building our island together. It's really, really very fulfilling, and we have a great time, which is cool. And also, it keeps Soap and Clay Kidlet number 2 away from FNAF because she's obsessed, and I don't like it. So, that was her favorite. Cousteau, Jacques. Well, Cousteau, and he's a jock. That's funny. Jacques Cousteau? Come on. That's funny. Whatever. But he's cute. Henry is absolutely adorable. I love this guy. I think he's perfect for all of this. And maybe that's why I picked blue for him, because normally he has a blue shirt now that I'm looking at his whole character. But yeah, this white tee from Midwest, great. The whole pour, amazing. That's day 108. Henry, the frog, Animal Crossing. It's awesome. It's so super wild how short all of these videos are, considering every single one of these soaps took multiple days to make. In this case, this one actually ended up taking 3 days because making all the embeds on one day, make the first pour of the cold process second day, and then pour around it day 3. It's nutso that these videos this is the easiest thing ever. It's actually a lot of prep work. So before you start deciding to do soaps like this, just keep that in mind. It's not nearly as quick and easy as what this video is suggesting or what other videos with this theme have suggested. But Henry, the frog, he's adorable. Smells like white tea. You get a lot of lemon, lot of clean. Very nice, strong scent for sure. But all the other things that it said it was, I don't super get that. But the weird thing about these scents is that it does linger in my nose for a very long time afterwards from the out of bottle. So maybe I just sat with it for so long that I didn't pick up I don't know. Point is, it was a great scent. It was beautiful to soap with, had none problems whatsoever. And yeah, Midwest Fragrance Company has been amazing through this. I'm very, very impressed. And I'm glad that one of my sudsers suggested that I try them out. For sure. Now, if you are interested in trying out Midwest Fragrance Company, you can go do so and use a coupon code. So you can use coupon code SOAPandClay10 at checkout for 10% off of your order. SOAP ampersand CLAY 10, like my business name. Yeah. And yeah, you get 10% off at Midwest Fragrance, and that would be great. You should definitely give them a try. If you're interested in getting these Animal Crossing soaps, you can't do so yet. We're not done. We're not done. But they will be at soapandclay.com when they are done. So that's cool. If you're interested in seeing who else we do for Animal Crossing, or what else we do for the next 200-ish days, subscribe. That's all. For those of you who are subscribed, you're not all, you're everything, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me for another round of 365 days of soap. I'm out of here for today. My camera's about to die, but I'll see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye.